So I have created the folder called C Sharp. So there I'm going to create a C Sharp Windows form. So first let me copy this file path. It will be useful. So let me go to the Visual Studio. So I have installed Visual Studios. If you haven't installed, you can watch the video where I have installed Visual Studio. So let me go to the file, and here you can go to new and go to projects, file, new projects. So from this dialog box you should select first Visual C Sharp, then Windows, and then select Windows Forms. So this is critical. So as the form name I'm going to add it as Windows Form Simple Cal, and as the save location I'm going to change it, go to browse, and here I will paste my URL and press enter. So nothing is there. Press select folder and press OK. Now your Windows Forms application is being created. So wait patiently. It's loading. Alright, so here we have our form. So if you need to change this form colors and title, you should just click on here and right click and go to the properties window. So since this is the only element you have here, sometimes the right click option won't be visible. So here it have. So if I go to properties, it will be highlighted like this. So in the properties bar, go to this text. So if you change it as my simple cal and control S to save, and now you can see real time the title is changing. So if you need to change the appearance, go back to this appearance section and let me select this back color and change it to something like this. So here it has been changed. So there are plenty of properties where you can change. Right, so let's go to our business. So my plan is to create a simple calculator. So here there will be two text boxes to get the number 1 and number 2, and 4 buttons to for the operators. So let me go to the toolbox here, and first I'll add some labels, label, and drag it like this, and another label for the number 2 and another label for the result. Alright, so let's edit. So let me click this one, and how to change the label text, right click and go to the properties. When you used to it, you don't need to right click. I will show you. Then here under the font group you have a thing called text. So here it should be what, number 1 and colon, save. Right, so here now you can see it has been changed. Now I'm not going to right click, just click on label 2 and go here. So now you can see the text is label 2. So here you can add number 2 colon, save. And what about the label 3? Yes, click here and go back to the properties, and here it says label 3. So here you can type result, save. That's it. That's how you format the labels. So if you want to align them, you can click somewhere here, similar like other graphic tools, and here you can see some pretty options. So let me press this one, align left. So here it has been aligned. So if you need further edits, you can select them all, and here you can change the font color in the sense it's the font color. So let me change it to something visible, something like this. Yes, it has been changed. Now let's see how we can add the most important part of this thing, text boxes. So let me go back to the tool again, toolbox, and type text box, and make sure to select this text box only. Let me select it and drag all the way here, and now it's there, and we'll format one by one. Since this is the text box where it's going to hold number 1, I'm going to click here and make sure to right click and go to properties. and here what it says, font, if you maximize it, text is not there, nothing is there, doesn't matter. Now here we should add the variable name or the design name. So the design name will hold the value of this text box. So since it's related to number 1, let me scroll all the way down here and go to the design, and here it says text box 1. So let me change it as text box 1 number 1 and save. So the variable name of this text box is text box 1 number 1. So let me add another one. So drag it, drop it here, and again right click and go to properties, and make sure to do it in the first time. So here it says text box 1 again. So now you can rename it as text box 1 number 2 and save. And the final text box, go back to here, drag it like this, and again right click. So right clicking and selecting the properties of a text box is important other than the labels. So here it says what, again text box 1. So here let me rename it as text box not number, text box 1 result, text box 1 result. That's it. So if you click on the text box here, and if you go check here, it says design name text box 1 number 1. If you click this one, it's text box 1 number 2, other one text box 1 result. So here you go, you have the 3 text boxes. So make sure to save, Ctrl S, and now let's add the triggering point of this form. It's going to be a button. So if you type button, here you have, I'm going to add it here. So to customize it also, you can click, right click, and go to properties. So for the button, I'm going to change the font name. Here in the font group, you have a thing called text. So let me add it as calculate and save. So let me change the font color also. So let me change it to something like this. All right, it's not elegant, so let me change it to red color. Okay, I have the calculate button. So I haven't changed the calculate button's design name. So how to change it? Just click here and right click and go to properties and scroll all the way down until you see the design name. So here I have the design name. So it said button 1. So I'm going to press rename it as button, remove the 1, button calculate, button calculate. Right, so I'm going to save it. Right, I'm going to save it. Otherwise we'll rename it as something like this, button addition. So when you press this button, you should print the result what, addition, right? So here it says calculate, so let me change it also. So I'm going to change it to not calculate, I will add the plus sign there. So I need to press this button and print the total. So I'm going to change it to plus sign, right? So here you have plus button, right? So that's it. So I will show you how to first add the plus button. Now I'm going to double click this one. So make sure to double click. All right, so don't move your cursor. Here you can see private void button addition. So what is the purpose of this addition button? It's to print the total. Now let's guess the input from the text boxes. So let me add a comment. So sorry, it's a Python comment. So this is how you add comments in C# and get the input from number 1 text box. So how to get the input? So first you should make a string type variable, and we can call it as number 1 equal, you can call the text box. So what is the text box name? It's text box 1 number 1. So here it's there, you can double click and dot text. That's it. Just that's how you get the number. So here it should be integer. So let me add int here. So here it should be integer, and here you can see an error. What is the error? So typically when you get the input from the text box, it's going to be a string. So how to convert it? That's an easy method. So click here and add a space, and you should type convert dot to int 16, 32 or 64 either. So I'm going to erase it and wrap it using a parenthesis. Here you, it's correct now. No more errors. No more errors. So you can copy it and use it for the second time also, because you have number 2. Let me zoom out and zoom the code. Alright, so we have the code. Number 2. And text box number, it's 2. Now text box number 2 and save. So now we have got the input from number text boxes and converted to integer. Cool. Right, now you can perform the operation. So how to perform the operation? You can make a variable called result, right? So integer type variable, or else string type, right? So let me make a string type variable, string result equals what? String result equals, or else we'll make a variable called integer, right? Int result equal number 1 plus, since this is the plus operator, number 1 plus number 2. That's it, right? So that's it. So now we should print it inside the text box, right? Then print the result inside the result text box. How to do that? Easy method. So you can call the text box. So what is the text box name? As I can remember, it's text box 1 result. So here we have, double click on it, text box 1 result dot text. Then it is going to be equivalent to the result. But will it work? No, because it's an integer. So how to mitigate it? You can convert it. So how to convert? Again the same code. Let me zoom in and show you. Add a space here and you can type convert dot to string. So last time we have converted it to integer, now the string. So at the closing pair, override. That's it. So now let's give a trial run. So I'm going to save it and go back to the form here. And how to run? So you can press this start button. So let me click this and wait. Okay, it's running. Oh, we have the form. So let me add 10 and 20 and press plus. Boom, we have the result. So how to do the other operations? So it's the most critical part. How to do the other operations? Yes, it's obvious. You should add other buttons. So with me, let's add some buttons, right? So this is one here, and go to the toolbox and add the minus button. Drag it, drop it somewhere here. All right, so let's make the properties. So how to? Right click, go to properties, and in the font it should be minus. It's not button 1, minus. And you can change the color if you want, for color to red. So I will do it quickly and go to the design name. It's going to be button minus. Save. All right, so now what? So just double click on the plus button, right? Double click on the plus button and you can do something like this. Copy all the code here inside the plus button. So make sure you are in the plus button, right? So here button addition, right? So I'm copying all the code inside the plus button. Then come back to the form. And now double click on the minus button. Right? Not on the plus button. So here can you see private void button minus. You don't have any code here. Don't click anywhere else. Just paste. Control V to paste. And Control S to save. Here now you are in the button minus, and this is the result of the plus button. So how you are going to change it? just go inside the code and change the operator, right? Just the operator minus, right? So now let's check. So I'm going to deploy start, and the form is being loaded. It's obvious the plus is working. 50 plus 60. If you press the plus button here, it's showing that. So let me change the outputs and erase the result. So 80 minus 60, it's 20. So it's working, right? So close the form, and right, so again back to the form CS, and let me repeat it twice because I need to add the division button also. So let me go to the toolbox and type button and drag it like this and drop it here. And so let me stretch this form a little bit, select this one, and you can right click, or else you can be careful to not to select other thing. So in font I'm going to add multiplication, and you can change the color if you want. Let me change it to again red color, and the design name here, design name, it will be button multiplication. Then save, Control S. Alright, so what's next? Again double click on the minus button, and here you can copy the code inside the minus button. Here minus button, just copy the code here, copy, and go back to the form CS, and make sure to double click on the multiplication button. Here inside the multiplication button you don't have anything, so paste it. And what should you change here? Only the operator, right? So let me add the operator, save, and let me quickly add the division button also. So let me adjust the form a bit. Then here I'm going to select this one and go to button and drag it like this. Alright, so it's set, all set. Select this one, drag it, select the button, and let me change the color and the text. So here it's going to be division, and you can change the back color, division, save, right. And so let me change the back color, sorry, forecolor custom red. Then the data name, sorry, design name, it's called button one, so let me change it to button division and save. So the final time, go back to the multiplication button, double click there, and you can select this code, copy, and come back to the form CS. Here we have, don't accidentally close it, so double click on the division, here button division, paste for the last time, and here what should you do? You should change the operator to division, right? So it's now the show time. So let's see the final output. So let me zoom in, and here you have, let me add 180, and if you press the plus button, yes, it's 180. If you press the minus button, it's 20, and if you press the multiplication button, it's 8000, and the final result, it's 1. Why is that? Because we have used integers. So let me clarify. HPI add 50 and 2, and press the division button, you have 25. Because the data type we have used is integer, so it will only give the integer value. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you got the idea and a quick overview about how to make a simple calculator in C#.